Hey everybody, Thermal Mike. And if you're like me when you're driving in your car and you like to take in the view from both sides, well, your components do too. Introducing the View 31 Tempered Glass Edition by Thermaltake. Now the View 31 here is one of our new mid-tower chassis that supports dual 4mm thick tempered glass on both sides. Now with the View 31, it also is a wide body style, so it gives plenty of extra room in the back there for proper cable management, because you know you're going to be seeing it with the dual tempered glass. And of course the View 31 is packed with lots of options for liquid cooling, and it comes with the new GPU riser bracket. So that way if you'd like to mount your GPU graphics card here vertically, it's definitely an option for you thanks to the 8+2 configuration on the case. Now storage options are great, with storage both in the front as well as in the back. So if you want to remove the front cage to put in some awesome liquid cooling, no problem. Thermaltake's got you covered here with the View 31. And we're going to go ahead here and take the View 31, dive in and put a custom liquid cooling system in it and see what it's all about. All right, so we got the View 31 here laid down on its side. We've gone ahead and removed some of the components so we can go ahead and install our system. Now, big shout out here to Gigabyte for supporting us with their G1 Z170 X Ultra gaming motherboard. I've already went ahead and teamed that up with our new W4 RGB water block. And big thanks to Crucial for the Ballistics Elite DDR4 memories too. So we can get a nice uniform color look and do a pretty sweet build. So we'll go ahead and we'll install the motherboard, but first we got to get that IO shield in here. So we have our IO shield, always important to not forget to put this in. So we'll go ahead and we'll snap our IO shield in like so. Now that our IO shield's installed, we'll go ahead and we'll take our motherboard and we'll place it down here and we'll install it into the case. Now with the case, it is pre-set up with the standoffs for ATX form factor, and there's an additional accessory pack that includes standoffs, the standoff removal tools, so if you need to move stuff around, it's all included. Now with this motherboard, once I get it lined up and placed here into the case, then we'll go ahead and we'll take the screws that came with the case itself. I have our M3 screws. You'll get a serious set of screws here, not just for the motherboard, but also for hard drive accessories too. And then there's other additional screws in there for other components like an additional fan and your 2.5 and 3.5 hard drive or storage options. So we'll go ahead and we'll install the motherboard. All right, now we've gotten our motherboard installed. We have our cable wire here for our W4 RGB water block, which we'll plug in later with the controller so we can light that up. So what we'll do now is we'll go forward with installing the power supply. So of course, every system needs power, so we're gonna be bringing in our new Smart Pro RGB 850 watt 80+ bronze power supply. So this is one of our new Thermaltake power supplies that's now available. As you can see, this gives a nice neutral black logo, so as part of the RGB, allowing you to change the color on the fan. And then one of the great parts about this power supply is it does have a ring fan in here, so the performance of that fan does actually help improve my ambient temperatures by facing the fan up so that the fan actually pulls the heat in and exhausts it out the back of the case. So it also comes with, you know, these cool little features. And then with the power supply, you have your power switch, but there's also some additional switches we have here on the back. One is going to be your control for changing the RGB lighting, and then the other one's going to be your smart fan control. So we'll go ahead, we'll remove our sticker, and we'll take our power supply, our power pack, and we'll get it installed here into our View 31. Now we don't want to stop there. With the power supply, we also want to go with a black and blue theme here. So we're going to team that up with our new TT Mod sleeve extension cables. Now this is a blue and black combo for this particular color. These sleeve cables now come in 8 different color combinations, so check those out as well. It's a sleeve extension, so it's universal, works with any ATX power supply, and it gives a nice professional look. It's a very easy way. And one of the great parts about this, cable combs, folks. Comes with some cable combs, and you'll see that later as we go through the build. Okay, now that we got our power supply mounted into the case, we'll go ahead and start doing some of our initial cable management and then go forward with adding more stuff. Now the View 31 has a top I/O panel that supports two USB 2.0, two 3.0s, power button, hard drive light, reset, and of course HD audio. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this installed here so it's out of the way. So we got our View 31 in the process of getting mocked up, so now I want to introduce and bring in some of our cooling options. So we have our new Ring Plus 12 RGB LED fans. So these are our new Ring Plus fans. These are 12 independent LED fans that are going to give a nice bright look to this great build. So we'll be taking the Ring Plus fans here. We'll be installing them not just in for the case cooling, but also for our radiators and our liquid cooling. So we'll be jumping to that here in just a minute. Now I wanted to give a big shout out to Plextor here for offering up a SSD so we could use for the build. So thanks Plextor for that. And with that and the liquid cooling that we're going to be doing, I've also removed the hard drive cage. And the advantage of that is I can be able to put my reservoir, radiator, fans and all that here in the front, utilizing that extra space. And then on the View 31's backside or opposite side here, we have additional storage options. So you can take one of the trays from the front to put in the back here to give you 3 separate 2.5 or 3.5 storage bay locations. Now I'll be taking our SSD that we got right here. We'll be installing it here in this location. And these drive trays, they come out pretty easy. Just lift it up and out and they come right off real easy and convenient. You know, toolless and all that fun stuff. And then basically just applying it and putting it right back in here and it's locked in and secured. So we'll go ahead and we'll get our hard drive installed and start working on the wiring, and then we'll go forward with liquid cooling. All right, so now we'll go ahead and we'll install our Ring Plus fan on the rear part so that way we can get it all set and prepped for our liquid cooling that we'll be installing here very soon. So we'll go ahead and we'll set our new Ring Plus fan up here. Now before we tighten it down, the good thing about this is it does adjust, so I can slide and adjust the fan if needed where I want it based on my components. So we'll mock it up where we need it and get it locked in. All right, now we got our View 31 all cleared out here for some lovely liquid cooling. So I'm gonna bring in our new radiator. So this is our R360, it's a slimline radiator, and I've already pre-mounted 3 of our Ring Plus fans onto the radiator. Now this is gonna go in the front of the case here with additional fans in the front, and we'll install that here in just a second. And then of course I got another radiator. So I got another 360 Slim here with the Ring Plus fans pre-mounted, and this is gonna go up and in for the top part of the case. Now the idea behind that is so I can split up the cooling between the GPU that's going to be here and the CPU that's going to be on the motherboard, so that between each component it will hit a radiator and give us some optimal results. So let's go forward with installing the radiator here on the front of the View 31. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to be mocking up our fans to our radiator here to set up our push-pull configuration. Now another thing too with the View 31 is there an additional bracket here that you can add onto the top that's going to fit the proper spacing for the size of radiator that you're going to use, and that's included with the accessories. Now we're going to go ahead and install the radiator on the top. Now as I mock up my location for the radiator in the top, I want to take note of the ports that I have as far as where they're going to be from the fan in the rear and how I'm going to set it up for my liquid cooling. So we'll set it up here so that way we can get a good idea, and if we need to make any adjustments, we'll do it later. All right, now with the View 31, we're gonna go forward with the next step, which will be mounting our graphics card. Now we have a dummy block card here, you know, for just display, makes it quick and easy. So we'll be taking this card. Now we can take the GPU block, and of course we can mount it traditionally, plugging it into the motherboard. You have 8 slots down the back side. But with the View 31, it comes with a special option, and that is using the GPU riser bracket. So with the GPU riser bracket and an optional riser cable that is sold separately, I can take the cable and then now connect it directly into the motherboard by just pressing that in and letting that lock. And then with the riser cable, as I've mounted it already to the bracket, I can just line it right up here with the side of the case, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get the bracket installed here now on the View 31. Now that we got our GPU installed, we're going to go forward with our pump and reservoir. So this here is our PR22D5 pump. This is a 5-speed adjustable pump, and it's going to fit perfect here in the View 31. Now we'll likely place it probably about right here as far as in the case. Thanks to the View 31's perforated floor, it makes very easy for mounting the brackets, especially with the way this one is designed and set up. And then with the reservoir and the pump mounting, making sure we got proper space and everything here, so that way when we do our tube work throughout the build, you know, we'll have it nice and lined up so we can get some nice crisp lines. Now as far as the tube work goes, we're going to be throwing in some fittings. So we got lots of fittings here and lots of goodies to put into the system build. Then we also are going to be bringing in some more light with our RGB hard tube fittings. So we'll be dropping in some of these RGB LED fittings here. They're really cool, come in black, and then they have 6 independent LEDs here that you can light up the tubing there depending on what type of coolant you put in. So check that out once we get that going. We also have our flow indicator 2. We'll be putting this in the build here. This will give you a visual effect of the coolant moving with the little corkscrew plastic insert. Now that we got all the parts, let's get some stuff mocked up and let's do some hard tube work. All right, now we got our View 31 here, and we've gone ahead and done all of our awesome tube work as far as what we're going to be putting into the system here. We also have our sleeve fittings for the RGB fittings that we'll be putting on with the tube. Now, one thing quick to just point out as a quick tip, with the tubing here, using these fittings, since the tube actually goes around the fitting with the stems that are here, we'll want to just hone out or deburr the inside of the tubing, so it'll give it a nice clean fit. So we'll go ahead and we'll install our tubing here and get ready to put in some coolant. Now a quick tip before you're going to put your tubing into the actual fitting itself, because there are dual internal O-rings that are here, it's always nice to get some distilled water or using some of our new Thermaltake pure clear coolant water. So that way with this, I can just get my fingertip wet, and then it helps to just apply just a little bit of water around both of those O-rings, so it will slide on real smooth and the O-rings won't shift or adjust when you're doing it. One thing again on the RGB fittings, a little tip is there are those 4 wires that are going to be coming down for the LEDs. There's a little channel here where those wires need to sit before you put your sleeve down and tighten it on, because you don't want to cut your wires. So always make sure that this is lined up in the channel and you have it set there, and kind of hold it with your finger if you need to, or just keep checking it as you go ahead and then now secure the sleeve to the fitting. Our View 31 is all ready to go. We have our tubing installed and our fittings are tight, so we're ready to make that tough decision of what coolant to go with. For that, we're going to be using our C1000 Pure Clear Coolant. Now this is a new coolant line that we have coming out very soon, and it also comes with a variety of dye options as well. So for this, since we got a lot of RGB with the fittings, the fans and everything, we're just going to go clear for this build for now, and then if we do want to add some dye, that's the great part about using this. You can always change it up later, flush the coolant out, or just add some color to it to change up the look. We'll go ahead and get this all fired up, get the lights going so you guys can see what the View 31 is all about. Well, here you go, folks, the View 31 all built out with our custom liquid cooling. So taking this from a chassis all fresh out of the box to this right here is definitely the details we want to show you here at Thermaltake for our new products that we have coming out, and also to show you guys some of our other products as well. Now, if you like this information, definitely give us a like down below and let us know in the comments. Anything you didn't like, let us know that too. We're going to be pumping out lots more videos here for you, so we always want to make the next video even better. And if you guys want to learn more about the View 31, visit our website at www.thermaltakeusa.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all of our latest and greatest videos that we have, as well as events that are going to be going on too. And don't forget social media as well. Give us that like and that thumbs up, guys. Well, hey, this is Thermal Mike. Until next time, thank you for watching.